G'day crew, so we've just come back from a trip out to the coast. We didn't do a hell of a lot of filming on this one. It was just sort of more of a little family oriented holiday. We did a bit of stuff for Instagram, but anyway. Got a couple of good muddies. We didn't catch these. I did a little video of tying them up, which you probably would have seen if you're following along with our page and that. Just tying them up with some fishing line. These are the muddies from that video. We scored these because we pulled some guys out of a bog. So they went out in the boat, we couldn't get any with the hooks, and we didn't get into any good flicking lures around, so they helped us out, give us a couple of muddies. So anyway, I'm just going to go through and do a real simple Singaporean chili mud crab, the way I like to do it. Everyone might be different. I reckon this way is really good. Bit of a secret ingredient that I use is canned ginger beer. So obviously being an Asian sort of dish, you're going to have ginger in it. We're going to put a bit of fresh ginger in it anyway, but ginger beer is the key to this dish. Some fresh chilies, some rice wine vinegar, a bit of garlic, a little bit of fish sauce, obviously a couple of cracking muddies.
You can't forget the muddies.
We'll show you how to prep them up. Make sure you're opening up the shells so all the spice and juice and flavours can get inside. But we'll get into it and follow along. Right, first thing you need to do is wash your mitts.
I already have.
Sure?
Yeah.
100%?
100%.
You lying to me?
Remember?
No? That's why I told you to do it again.
Whatever. Better to do it twice than just once.
Unfortunately, we're not in this beautiful location down the beach cooking mud crab like I normally do, in the big wok on the fire. But it's alright, next time. Didn't want to waste them without showing you guys how we do it. So we're going to cut up our ingredients. Cut up all our fresh chilli. You can use like sweet chilli for this, sweet chilli sauce, if you want, but I like sort of the fresh chilli. And when you mix it with the rice wine vinegar, it sort of gets that bit of a sweetness to it anyway. So I've got a little helper here for that. I'm going to cut this fresh chilli up as fine as you can. On my chef. These little bird's eye chilies, or if they're not bird's eye chilies, or someone's guru, I got it wrong. Pretty sure they are. I like to leave the seeds in because they're not actually that spicy. Whereas if you get the real tiny ones, they're a bit hotter.
Be careful.
Don't lose a finger.
Exactly what I'm saying, be careful.
Yeah? Now when I cook this, if I don't explain to you, I'll explain to you now. I put half chilli in at the start and then I put it half in at the end, like the other half in at the end.
I'm going to chuck that in the bin.
That's all good, bud.
Okay.
But I feel like a bit of the heat, like temperature heat actually takes away a bit of the chilli. Minced up sort of chilli, seeds in. Righto, so what we're going to do now is prep these crabs. I've done, actually I don't know if that, I actually have done a video, but I don't know if I've ever made it to scene. We'll go through it. Sometimes you can, when you're going to boil a mud crab, you can boil it first and then gut it later. These have been tied up and put into a fridge and then slowly go to sleep. Most humane way of doing it. So we always sort of do it, is chuck them in the ingle in a hessian bag, or, but yeah, dead as a doornail, these things. If you're going to boil them, you just boil them whole in salt water for as long as you want to bloody do it. We'll talk about that another day. But because I'm frying these up, so to speak, for the chili mud crab, we're going to gut them first, yeah? Can you remember how to do it, mate?
Yep, I think. So
I think that's a good start.
we put it under like this.
Yep.
You grab this.
Hold it up.
You do that with
Hold on, tell me one thing. How do we tell whether it's a boy or a girl mud crab?
The girl mud crab would be more like, not pointy, but it would be more of like a curve.
More
and then
round.
Yeah.
So would you say like maybe like a bit of a fat bum sort of thing?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So you're saying the girls got fat bums? You can't say that. Exactly right, but young fella's right. So basically your bucks, your males are nice and pointy on here. Females are more round, and And females are a bit easier to open as well because that's where they keep the big clutch of eggs if they got them. So it's easy enough to check a female for eggs, but generally we don't take females anyway. We just stick to bucks.
So back to what we were.
Hand you a little hint, if you can't get that flap open, you just rip off the bottom of the leg and you actually get that underneath and it opens up really easy. So, food for thought.
And then after, when you lip that, you stick your finger in, which I don't like doing. It's disgusting. Ew. And then after, I'm going to...
Alright, well let's do that over the sink because you're going to cause a mess.
Yeah. After, when you open up the flap, you stick your finger in its butt where it poops in there. And you try
Can you get it? You want to get that part?
Yeah. I'm weak.
No, you're right. I use my thumb, mate. So you just stick your thumb in the bum, pull that head off, and it's all yuck.
So, and then after...
So what are these?
You peel, these are the gills. You peel them off because you can get sick by eating them.
Correct. And so peel them off.
Until you got no gills, bits left.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, get slippery hands.
Get all those gills and crap out, and all the eyes and stuff at the front. Peel them off. The bigger bucks, just be careful because you can cut your hands up pretty sharp. Stick your hand in there.
Big buck.
Get a bit of water on. And clean out all that crap in there. Clean all that out.
That's the bad stuff.
But generally, if you're doing this at camp, super easy. Just down the water's edge in the salt water.
But we don't do it. Well, we didn't have time because we were leaving on that particular day when we got these muddy.
Right, right.
So we didn't have time to do all this stuff and all that. Oh yeah, just use scissors, whatever.
Nice pair of shears. Cut it off.
All
Get
that.
the rest of that crap out.
All that gunk.
All that junk.
And then you're left with just this you and me.
Now you can get as pedantic or as unpedantic as you want when it comes to cleaning crabs out. Kyra gets a little bit fussy with crab guts, so we're doing fairly good. If your blokes on the beers and you couldn't bother waiting, you probably wouldn't do it as good.
And then you're left with just this nice meat.
Beautiful. So it's half the job done.
What the heck is this thing?
Now I'll go through, you've got to make sure you crack your claws, otherwise no juices are going to get in there. So I'll go through that in a minute. So as I was talking about, you got to make sure you open these shells up. So I like to crack it along the back here, back of the blade of a knife or pliers or whatever you got that's nice and heavy. And gives that nice crack.
That was easy.
Yep. Make sure it's cracked all the way around. And the next joint down as well. So this one here, same deal.
Jesus.
If you don't crack them, all the juices don't seep in. The chili doesn't seep in. All them Asian flavours sort of thing. So, but they can be. That's a good sized crab. It's a good sized claw. They're pretty hard sometimes, so you got to give them a good whack. Probably went a bit hardcore that one.
It'd be a bit too hardcore now.
Yeah. So all you needed was just that crack all the way around. Unfortunately, if you have a look there, it's cracked on the wrong side. I want it crack here really, because when you pull it out, you want just all that as a big lollipop. That's all right, we'll deal with that. One more on this joint here. Beautiful. So that is our 2 muddies prepped up, ready to go. Clean, nice and cracked open. We're going to now sort out the sauce. I don't measure any of this out, so just bear with me because I just never do it. God hates it. Now the trick, I know I said at the start that the ginger beer was the trick. The other little trick to do is make sure you've got a second can of ginger beer, because otherwise you're not drinking most of it and not enough goes back into the sauce, so just point. Right, rice wine vinegar. How much do we put in here? How much is?
I don't even know, you're the one who's making it.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Let's start with... How much?
Sure.
Yeah? Taste test it afterwards. Garlic. How much garlic do we have?
I'll tell you when to stop.
You'll tell me when to stop. It's going to be interesting. Right.
Stop.
Wrong.
Oh
All
my.
of it. All of it.
Oh, what?
That's how much garlic we use, mate. Amateur. Right, fish sauce. How much fish sauce?
Tell you when to stop.
Don't get this one wrong.
Stop.
Wrong.
Stop.
Now we stop. Don't need too much fish sauce.
I'm a bit coffee.
You are a bit coffee. Right, 1 can of Brookvale Union ginger beer. Doesn't matter what ginger beer you use, guys. You can use Matzo's, you can use James Squire, you can use whatever you want. I'll chuck that bad boy in there. Done. One for you.
Is it alcoholic?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Alcoholic ginger beer?
Yeah.
I can't have it then.
Can't have it.
Yeah, it's alcohol.
It cooks off, mate. Don't worry about it. Right. Half that chilli. You'll be fine. Dane likes chilli, but not heaps of chilli. Alright, we need something to mix that up. A fork.
It's just that I never had that type of chili, and I'm not sure how much chili it is.
You'll be right. Alright, give that a bit of a mix. Mix, 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 mix.
That ginger beer smells good, to be honest.
It does, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. I can smell the heat already.
Smell the heat already. Right.
Sorry.
A little bit of olive oil. Right, so just turn that sort of big giant pan on. Normally I'll do this in the wok over the fire or in the camp oven. Doesn't matter how messy you get. Lucky enough for us, Clara's not here today, so it doesn't matter how messy we get, does it, mate?
Yeah.
I'll chuck a bit of butter in the pan as well, and then I'll get the crab in there, just sort of steaming away. Chuck the sauce over top, put a lid on it so it's sort of steaming. And depending on how big your crab is and how much crab you got, so you're looking around 15 minutes. Just sort of play it by ear. Because you've cracked it, you can see you want that shell to start pulling away from the meat and nearly de-shell itself already in those claws, and then you know it's pretty much good to go. So just let that pan heat up, chuck some butter in the pan, crab goes in, sauce, super simple sauce. I mean, you can have that in any caravan really, like that doesn't take a lot of space, but I'll just put in there then. You can do shallots as well, chuck shallots in there, spring onion, all that sort of stuff. I didn't go and get that from the supermarket when we got home, so it's not in there, but normally I would if we had it fresh. You right, bud?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, good. Nice and stirred. Cool. Alrighty. Righto, so that ingredients is in, that sauce is in there, simmering away. It's been there for a couple of minutes now. But basically, all I'm going to do is take the lid off, give it a bit of a spoon around, move it with the spatula and that, put it back on, keep it going. Righto, I reckon we're good. It's been about 15, 16 minutes. I'm gonna have a real good crack and see what we're looking like.
Mine is probably gonna be.
It's all nice and red. That meat in the middle there, nice and white.
We both get 2 each. I'm probably gonna have the little ones.
Where's sauce? Rightio, so we've sort of finished this little impromptu chili mud crab sesh young bloke wanted to do. Thanks for giving me a hand, mate.
That's okay.
How do you reckon we went? Looks alright?
Yeah. Looks
Now,
good, but we haven't
We've
tasted.
never been much for presentation, so don't judge us on the old presentation, but we've had some green stuff on there. Probably look half bad. Half good, we're going to call it. But anyway, we'll give it a taster and we'll let you know how we go. I reckon it looks pretty bang on the money. Right, young fella, give it a go. Let me know, what do you reckon? Geez, I think the old bloody thing, it's probably a little bit warm.
Amazing.
Amazing?
Absolutely amazing.
There you go, straight from a 7-year-old. Chili mud crab. You've seen it, amazing. So get onto it, get some muddies. If you want to know how to get them, you're not quite sure, or you haven't had much luck before, whether it's trying to pull them out of a hole or with your bare hands, or whether using a hook, you can use a hook over in WA. Whether you just got net set, whatever the case may be, if you're struggling to get them, leave a comment, let us know. Happy to give you some spots. We just want everyone to get amongst it and have a crack. Get onto a bloke called Jason Spencer at Hunt Catch Cook. He's got some mad chili mud crab recipes in his cookbooks and on his websites and stuff. He's a good mate of mine and we get a fair bit of recipe stuff off him, but this is my own one, not Jason's. So Jason, if you're watching, I'll let you use it. Anyway, we're going to get into it. I'm going to chuck the rest of the chili on my one. Tate didn't want any more chili, but he's happy with that much. So thank you very much for tuning in. And yeah, keep you posted. See you.